Hi everyone, I'm Desiree Falzon.
Hello, I'm Victor Falzon.
And we are both field teachers on the Dinja Waħda program with BirdLife Malta and the Education Directorates. Who are you listening in? You are students, teachers, and also we now have some parents. We are close to 500 on the team. Wow, what a number. And
that's good.
Very good. So how does this work? You have a Q&A bar at the side. At the bottom of that, you have a space where you can type in questions or comments as we go along. You won't see the comments, but we will. Being 500, there's too many to be seen all at once. You can't be heard, you can't be seen, but we know who you are. We can see what you're writing, and we can also publish your questions.
So this isn't like Teams?
It's not like the normal Teams lessons that you get, all right? So this is a live event. Right. We try to answer your questions during the show, but sometimes you ask questions at the end, or we just can't keep up with all your lovely questions. So in that case, don't worry, we will answer them during the next week's live event. And we're going to start with that. So I'm going to switch off the screen for a moment so that I can switch to your questions. Okay, so we are now on the first question. Do tell us if you are seeing or if you have a problem, if you're not seeing.
Or hearing.
Or hearing. You should be seeing a screen with a question on it. And our first question, which was unanswered last week, was afterwards. Do the seeds drop from the flower and make more plants? Last week's session was about pollination and pollinators. So, yes, they do. As you can see from the picture, seeds either are carried by the wind or by pollinators, and that is the whole point. When they fall somewhere else, they grow into a new plant. Thank you for the question. You were spot on. Right. Our next question was, I have a cactus that closes its flowers at night. Is it to protect its pollen?
That doesn't look like a cactus there.
No, in fact, we got another flower. This is a very common flower. It is the Cape sorrel, and you will see it in our Maltese countryside. And it does the same thing, in fact. There are many flowers that do this. During the day, they're open, like the picture on the right, and at night, in the evening, they are closed. Even on a cloudy day, when it's about to rain, they're closed. And the answer is, we don't know. Nobody really knows. We can think, we have ideas, and some of the ideas are that, yes, to protect its pollen from being eaten by animals that come out at night. Or it could be because in some countries it freezes at night and you don't want that precious nectar to freeze. And it could be that
it could be to protect the pollen from rain or from even the nectar. If it's dewy, it's very dewy, it's very wet at night, or it could be to protect the pollen, because if the flower remains open, the rain will wash all that lovely pollen away.
Yes. So who knows? Maybe you will grow up and become a scientist, and you will discover the answer to that one. If you do tell us about it. Our next question was, il-ġelat jattira żunżan, eżempju f'dejn il-baħar, għax ħelu. Does ice cream attract wasps like when you're near the sea because it's sweet? Yes, exactly. As we saw in last week's feature, pollinators love sweet things. It gives them energy. And sometimes they don't find flowers. This happens especially at the end of summer when there aren't many flowers around. And they look for anything they can find that's sweet. And that's why you get them near the ice cream. It wouldn't harm you to leave the ice cream lid or to drip a bit so that they have some food and some sweet. You know, sharing with animals is a nice thing. Somebody else asked us, what can we plant on our terrace to attract bees and butterflies? Many things. But I'm going to give you one of the easiest things you can grow. And cheap as well, because you can find seeds at garden shops, even at supermarkets. Herbs. Mint is one very good one. It's easy to grow. It doesn't need a lot of watering and a lot of care. It doesn't need compost. And the cool thing about mint is it has a very long flowering season. It keeps flowers for a very long time.
In summer especially, isn't it? And that's a good thing, because in summer we don't get lots of flowers. So it will be very attractive to insects and pollinators in summer.
And we have the proof of that.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. We took this photo in our garden because we have mint. And you can see there that there is a bee who has come to pollinate the flowers that has actually been caught by a spider that was waiting just under the flower.
That's a crab spider there.
Yes, it is. And you have a whole food chain there. So yes, definitely, please put things on your terrace. And herbs are an easy one. If you're going to take off any of the bits of the herb to eat, take the bottom leaves, because the middle part is where the flower comes out. Now we come to our mystery object of today. This is something from nature, and we're going to invite you. You're going to take a few seconds. We're going to give you a few seconds. And what do you think it is? Write to us in the Q&A. We won't publish your answers until the end. So start writing and thinking. We are seeing your answers. You can't see them. We're loving your answers. Okay, so we're going to continue our feature now. Thank you for those lovely answers that are coming in. We'll tell you at the end. Yes, somebody seems to have got it. Now we come to our presentation for today. The feature is about nests.
Ah, birds. I love birds.
What do you mean birds? I said nests, not birds.
Yeah, you said birds. You said nests, and birds make nests, right?
Oh, yes, but there are a lot of other things that make nests.
Ooh.
It's true that there are animals that don't make nests. For example, do you ever see this? Aren't they cute?
What are those horses there?
Yes, a nest of horses, yes. You don't see horses in nests, do you?
I guess that's why we got a cartoon then.
Absolutely.
You don't find pictures of that, photographs of that, do you?
No, pity, they'd be cute. But anyhow, yeah, there are animals that don't make nests, but there are many animals that do. For example, look at all these nests. They're all by different animals. Some are big, some are small, and they are all nests. You'd never know it looking at them, right? Let's start with an animal you must know. Did you recognize this animal? Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm sure you did. It's ants.
What are those white things they're carrying there?
Those white things are their babies.
I see.
So this is a bit of soil that the ants built to let in air and to warm up their underground nests. And perhaps it rained and the babies got a bit wet. So it's a sunny day now and they take them out for a bit of sun, you know, like a mother taking out, or a mother or a father or a grandparent taking out a baby in a pram. They carry them out, they sun them a bit, and then they take them back in. And this is what it looks like underground. You can see the nests at the top, like we saw in the photo. And underground, there are all these passages and chambers. And that's where they would be keeping the eggs. They would be keeping them all in a chamber or more than one chamber. And then when they hatch, they carry them into another chamber. Oops, somebody seems to be going the wrong way there. They're taking the food into the wrong chamber because the food should be down there. There are many different types of ants and they make different types of nests. But one thing they all have is a queen. The queen stays in the same chamber making eggs, all the time making eggs. She doesn't carry them, the workers do. They carry them first to the egg chamber, and when they hatch, they carry them to the baby chamber. And all the time, workers are bringing in food, storing it and giving it to the babies and eating themselves, of course. Now here's a very different animal. Do you know what this is? We saw its type last week when we did pollinators. Did you get it? It's a wasp. And this wasp is on mud. Why is it on mud? Because it's called, do you know what it's called?
No.
It's called a Potter Wasp. It's a.
You mean Harry Potter Wasp?
Oh, Harry Potter, go take that away. That's not, it's not Harry Potter. I said pots.
Oh,
this,
that kind of pot.
That kind of pot. This animal makes pots of mud. Like this one, a cousin of the one you saw in the photo. It makes these very pretty little pots. Amazing, isn't it? Doesn't it look exactly like something you might buy? They can shape mud into that lovely design. Here's the proof. We took this photo, we took this film. Of what type of Potter Wasp? Look what it's doing.
Ooh.
It's rolling mud into a ball and flying off with it. Look at it here in slow motion. Wow. You can see the ball. And there's, oh, look at that. It's first cutting the pattern. It threw away a stone over there and then it starts rolling.
Perfect builder.
Perfect builder. Doesn't it look like a builder doing cement and mixing it with water? Yeah. So she just finds the right kind of cement and off she goes. And this is the nest that kind of Potter Wasp would build. They're like little tunnels. Inside each one, she lays her egg and she catches food. In this case, this kind of wasp catches spiders. The spiders stay in there, and when the young hatches, it has a lot to eat, like somebody's kept them in a fridge for them. When the young of the wasp is ready to fly out, it just cuts a hole in the opening and flies out and starts its life as an adult. Look, here's another kind of Potter Wasp. This one builds them against a tree trunk, and they look like flats with one on top of each other, like an apartment block. In each one, she lays her egg, brings supplies, which could be pollen, or a caterpillar, and then she closes them off. These ones are open, so do you think the animals are in there?
Oh, I think it means they came out. That's the hole that the new wasps have made, or to come out of the nest. Exactly. There they go. So that's empty now.
Now, here's another kind of wasp, and these are the ones you might have seen. They are quite common. And look at the nest they built. They're called paper wasps.
So that's not mud, I'm guessing.
It's not mud. It's made of paper.
Wow. You mean they tear up books and things and
Of course not. Nobody tears up books and things. They make it themselves. They can make paper.
They make their own paper?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Let's go back to this one on the left here.
Did they learn from us?
It's actually the other way around. We'll see in a moment. So these two wasps over here are biting off, scraping off little pieces of wood from this tree trunk. They chew it and make the nest. Look at it there. So you see those lovely little shapes? They're called cells. They form that paper. You can see how thin it is. It's as thin as paper. And inside each one, they lay an egg. Can you see the ones at the top right? I'll move my cursor there. There's one there and one there. Because baby wasps don't look anything like a wasp. It's like a butterfly whose young is a caterpillar. The young of wasp is a worm-like thing. It's called a larva. And when the larva is ready to turn into a wasp, it closes off the cell and changes, like it's in a changing room. What a beautiful nest and what an amazing structure. Now you asked me if they learned from us, right? Actually, there is a story, a legend, that The Chinese were the first who invented paper.
That's not a story. I think that's quite true. It's probably true.
It's probably true because
thousands of years ago, yes.
Yes.
And what's happening in that picture?
This is somebody called Silin, and the legend says that he was watching wasps and he saw how they mix bits of wood with saliva and create paper. And in fact, paper making is something like this. We mix wood shredded with water. Fantastic, isn't it? Now look at these. What are these nests? You can guess from the animal. Can you see the animals?
So that's not bubble wrap, right?
Bubble wrap? Oh, if it were bubble wrap, I'd be bursting them all. What fun. Not at all. You don't burst these. These are nests. Did you guess what it is?
Look at those animals under there.
It's the honeybee.
It's a honeybee.
Did you guess that? So why does a honeybee make such a hive? This is not a hive in a box. People make the boxes. But inside the boxes, this is what the bee does. These are in the wild. And in each one of those cells, honeybees store honey. And they also lay eggs. They use the honey to eat and to feed their young. And of course, where they're laying eggs, the eggs will hatch the same as the wasps did. Beautiful, isn't it? Here's another bee, a beautiful one. Now this bee doesn't make its nest, it has to find something. I have 3 objects in this picture. Which one of them do you think is the object that this particular bee nests in?
I think I go for the boot at the bottom. It's nice and smelly.
Oh, you disgust me. No.
Okay, well, I tried.
Yeah, right. No, you didn't, right? You wouldn't have chosen the boot, right? Never mind him. It's actually the shell. There it is. Can you see this shell? Doesn't have it, of course, it would have been an empty shell. The bee finds an empty shell, fills it with pollen. Look, there she is. And then closes it off with little bits of stone and maybe shell, things she finds. So the inside is protected. When she fills with pollen, she lays her egg. So when the young hatches, it doesn't have wings. It's like the wasps. It will be like a little grub. It has a lot of pollen to eat. Then the young changes in there and it flies out as an adult bee like this one. Cool, huh? Here's a spider called an argiope. This is one of our largest spiders and it has an amazing nest. There. There are actually 2 over here. They look like little pouches, little pockets, like, you know, a pocket from the inside of your trousers. This is what it looks like. You know what's so amazing about it? First of all, can you see all those threads, those little strings? That's silk. And the spider ties its nests very, very tightly to make sure that in the winter, the wind and the rain doesn't wash it down to the ground. The nest itself is made of silk. Now, I don't know whether you knew this, but spiders have different types of silk. This one is strong, like the web, but it's also completely waterproof because inside there she lays hundreds of babies, hundreds of eggs, which will hatch during the winter, which will hatch when the winter is over, sorry. So it has to survive all the winter storms because it's in a waterproof nest.
Incredible, huh?
Look at them there. These have just hatched. We have a nest in our garden and we took this photo very shortly after they hatched.
So I imagine they must be very tiny things there.
They are like a pinhead. They're that small.
But they're all perfectly formed there. The photo on the right shows them as slightly a bit bigger. Maybe 2 days later, this one was taken.
Probably, yes. We're taking the photos every day, so we can see them growing.
They're really, really young, but they will soon disperse. They will soon leave.
Oh, here's a very different animal now.
Oh, this is not a spider.
Absolutely not.
And it's not a wasp.
Neither.
And it's not a pig off the floor.
Really, he's being silly again. So this, can you see that the rabbit, oh, what a cute face. Can you see that there's only the head showing? So where do you think the body is?
I think the rest of it must be underground.
Absolutely.
And the nest.
That's it.
And what do we call a rabbit's nest? A
burrow. It's
burrow.
A burrow. And this is what the burrow looks like. It has a long entrance so that you can't get at the babies easily if you put your hand in. And the chamber, the little room where the babies are born, is higher up. So that if it rains and water comes in, a bit of water comes in the tunnel, it can't go high up because water will stay in the lowest place, not in the highest place. Now we come to birds and nests. Birds are amazing because they build these wonderful nests with, well, we'll see with what, but with no hands, just a beak. Many of our birds do not nest in trees. People think that birds nest and even live in trees, but not so much the ones we have in Malta. The birds that make nests in Malta prefer to use other habitats, other places, like this little warbler. This one likes shrubs, bushes, and it makes a perfect little nest. Can you see two heads there? Those are two babies and they're quite well grown there because they've got feathers over their head. This one nests on the ground. It's a lark and it's in perfect camouflage. That thing that animals do when they have the same color as the background, so that predators, animals that might eat them or their young, won't see them. You can almost walk up to this nest and you won't see it. It gathers some twigs, puts soft stuff like seeds and feathers to line the middle of the nest. And there you can see a baby opening its mouth. This is a natural instinct. The parent has something, some insect. You can see bits of its legs out of its beak.
That's the father there.
How do you know that?
Because there's those special feathers on the head, that sort of crest he's got.
Wow. So the father and the mother feed the chicks, coming and going and catching insects on the ground. Here's another one who doesn't nest in trees or shrubs. It's our largest nesting bird, and it's a gull. It's a yellow-legged gull. And all it does is gather some twigs to make sure that its eggs and young have a soft place, and it nests on cliffs. No need to make a big nest because you are protected from predators. Cliffs are very hard to get to. This little but very pretty bird is called a little ringed plover, and it nests on the ground. This is at the Adira Nature Reserve, and you can see the beautiful eggs there, the same color. You wouldn't tell that there is a nest over there. It just gathers some shells, scrapes a little bit, and puts the eggs in the nest so that they won't roll anywhere else. Again, perfect camouflage. This one is not common at all, and it only nests in 3 places that we know of. It's at the BirdLife Nature Reserves.
Lovely. Very camouflaged, those eggs. You think they are pebbles.
That's the whole point.
Yes.
Look exactly like pebbles. So predators won't come and get them.
That's why they don't bother to build a nest to hide the eggs, because they look like stones.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Now, the ones we've seen already were all outdoors, in the open. Well, yeah, they were all outdoors, but the other nests were in the open. The swallow, do you remember the swallow from the first presentation? Swallows like to shelter their nests more. This one is under a veranda or some kind of roof, which must have an open window, an abandoned building, and it's built its nest against the ceiling.
Oh, so it builds its nest of mud. Here I can see, like the wasp.
Exactly.
And it's been using 2 kinds of soil. I notice the bit at the bottom is brown and the part at the top is gray. So I think it started to build a nest, and the soil went dry or something because they need the soil to be wet. And then it had to find another place where to find some more material to build her nest, and it used some mud from another place. Lovely.
Could be it has color sense and design sense and to make its nest in 2 colors.
Yeah, okay, right then. Sure.
And here's our national birds. Do you know this one? The blue rock thrush, il meril.
Even its eggs are blue, my God.
Yes, we don't know why they're blue, but they are certainly beautiful. This one likes to nest in cracks in rocks, sometimes in caves, but it shelters them as well. You can tell that this nest is sheltered and very prettily built. This bird must have found a very nice place to get twigs because they seem to be all of the same type. So can you imagine it going and coming and going to the same place to pick twigs and coming? How many journeys it must make to build this nest, and how nicely the twigs are formed together and with no hands. Ooh. Now this one, which is called a storm petrel, doesn't even build a nest because its egg is sheltered. It lays an egg on the bare rock. This one makes nests in filfla, and
in fact in Maltese it's called kanju ta filfla.
Exactly. It doesn't need to make a nest because it's inside little caves and little cracks.
It's sitting on its egg there.
It's sitting on its egg. Can you see it?
Doesn't mean that because it doesn't build a whole nest, it doesn't protect its egg. Its egg is actually there in a cave, and it's quite dark and nobody can find it. No predators can find it on filfla.
So the light you're seeing is from the flash, the camera flash.
Yeah, the camera flash, of course. So it's quite protected there.
Of course. And we end the feature with our most common nesting bird, which is the Spanish sparrow, Lasfur talbeit. This bird does not have a favorite place. It's very good at finding the best place it can in many different places. For example, in this one on the right, we see a couple there next to their nest in a very high tree. Out of the way, it looks messy, but there's a lot of work in there, and inside is very cozy. This couple found an abandoned building with an open window, and they built the nest on the windowsill. And these ones, they like to live life on the edge. These ones built it on an electricity pole. They certainly won't get any predators going up there. The pole is very smooth, you can't climb, predators can't climb, and who can get up there to the wire? Very convenient. Oh, and look at this one. This one is inside a ventilator. Maybe you have a nest in your ventilator. If you leave ventilators, you know those little square holes on the outside of buildings that let in air to your rooms? If you don't cover the outside, you will get sparrows' nests in them. And look how it builds its nest. It doesn't have an open top. It's a complete ball with a hole at the side. This one, on the other hand, is in a cave, and it's a really big nest. So it could be there's more than one pair of sparrows there and more than one nest. And the place where they lay the eggs would be right inside that big ball. In fact, sparrows will nest in anything that is out of reach of predators and humans. These are 2 nest boxes, and the day after we put them up, this is at the visitor center at the Adira Nature Reserve, the day after we put them up, the sparrows came and started building their nests.
It looks like they've got electricity installed as well.
Oh yes, they've got TV and internet.
Wow, they're watching us right now.
You're joking, right?
No, not really. I think that's electricity for the room.
For the visitor center,
yes.
Okay. So birds have everything they need. They don't need television. Now, my last message is about baby birds. Around this time, you'll be finding baby birds. And that human thing inside us tells us, oh, how cute, and I need to protect it. And many people pick up chicks because they think they are lost and they try to look after them. Well, don't do that, because this is part of growing up. A bird has to learn to fly, and in between being in the nest and being an adult bird who can fly, you have to pass through this bit of life. It's not lost, just unless there is a cat close or it's in the middle of a road, in which case pick it up and put it somewhere safe. Its parents are watching. So best thing you can do is go to a distance and wait. Very soon you will see the parents come and feed the chick. The young over there on the right is pretending it is still a baby and it needs its mother to feed. In fact, it's flapping its wings like looking helpless. The same thing you feel is the same thing the parents feel, and they can't help it and they come and feed them. The chicks will slowly grow and learn to fly, and they don't need you to help them. If you pick them up, they will probably die because we can't feed them as well as the parents can. And that brings us to the end of our feature. These are all the wonderful people we'd like to thank who lent us photos. So there's the list there, and a big thanks also to Steph Papadopoul from the office, who organizes all the emails and the office support. Now, for the mystery object from nature. Vic, will you tell us what you found?
We've had quite a lot of answers. We've had people saying caterpillars, bit of a caterpillar, cocoons, leaves, scales, a camouflaged centipede, wow, jellyfish tentacles, an insect, or the wings of a wasp, or a crab's shell, or someone said big leaves, or a sack of something, or part of an insect. Okay, so we've had quite a lot of answers.
Imagination, I love it.
Yes, we got the right answers. We got plenty of them who gave the right answer. And what do you think that was?
Here comes.
Yes, it was a woodlouse. Many of our listeners wrote in roly-poly because it's called the roly-poly bug as well.
Yes.
Okay, yes, it's a woodlouse. It's a cousin of the crab, but of course it lives not in the sea, but it lives in damp places, and those sort of scales over its back are there for its defense. And as you know, it likes to roll up into a ball at the slightest hint of danger.
Good.
So good. Well done.
Thank you for your answers. Now, last week you sent us a caption. What do you think this beetle is saying? And we had many answers, and we love them all because it shows that you're thinking, you're part of nature, and we had a good time. Our favorite was this one. I want the whole lot. Stay away.
That's exactly what it sounds like it's saying.
Doesn't it? Why did we like this? Well, a caption, a bubble needs to be short. It's short. It's funny. It tells me that this animal is behaving like a human, which of course it doesn't, but it's making it act as though it doesn't want to share. And that caption caught the spirit of the photo. So lovely. We come to this week's photo. We have a chameleon there and a kind of bee just in front of it. Doesn't it look like they're talking to each other? What do you think they're saying? So this week there are two. Whether you're a child or a teacher, parent, we'd like you to send in your suggestions. If you're parents or teachers and you want to help your children make captions and do good captions, go ahead. Just tell us who you are. We couldn't tell you the name of who sent us that one because it came in anonymously. Don't forget, if you want us to see your name, publish your name. Let your name show. You have a button that tells you don't click anonymous, which means no name. But to make it easier, we're going to send you a link on the Dinja Waħda newsletter. We're going to send you a link to a form with the photo so that you can write your caption over there, as we did towards the end of this week. That's our email, dinjawahda@birdlifemalta.org. We love when you tell us what you've been doing, how you've been using the subject, and any comments you have, which you can also write on the team chat. Because Dinja Waħda is happening differently now because of the COVID situation, we are changing the awards to online participation. So when you take part, we are taking note, and we will see how to create an online award. We also have a Facebook page for family activities. If your parents and children listening in here that you want to do things, fun things at home, craft things, things in the garden, things on the terrace, check what there is going on our Dinja Waħda page. And it's time now I will send you back to us. So that's us again.
Okay, I've been very busy answering lots of questions and comments there. So thank you for for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And
if there are any suggestions, do send them to us. We have some suggestions.
Even more questions after the event, after the session is over, you can use the email there, the dinjawahda@birdlifemalta.org, and we'll make sure to answer your questions next week. Okay, so see you next week. Okay, on behalf of BirdLife, we'd like to thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.